This is the last photo taken of Regina Kay Walters, barefoot, terrified, and staring directly into the eyes of the man that was about to take her life. Regina was from Pasadena, Texas. She was smart, artistic, and curious, but like a lot of teenagers, she wanted freedom. Her parents were divorced, and she started to grow close to her older boyfriend, 18-year-old Ricky Lee Jones. Now, Ricky, he wanted to leave town, start over, maybe even go to Mexico. So on February 3rd, 1990, they did exactly that. Regina slipped out of her mom's apartment with a small bag and they met up. So the two started hitchhiking. Their plan was to head south, find work, live free, happily ever after, right? But somewhere along the road, they accepted a ride from a middle-aged trucker named Robert Ben Rhoades, and that would prove to be a fatal mistake. He looked ordinary. However, he was absolutely anything but. Inside of his semi-truck, Rhoades had secretly built a torture chamber, a steel-walled sleeping compartment lined with chains, handcuffs, hooks, rope, even cattle prods. Turns out he had been stalking highways for years, targeting hitchhikers and runaways. Investigators believe that he killed Ricky almost immediately, shot him, and dumped his body on the side of the road near Sutton County, Texas. But Regina, he kept her alive. For weeks, she was chained inside of that truck as he drove cross country. He shaved her hair, dressed her up, and photographed her during all of the abuse, documenting everything like trophies. He even forced her to call him master. At one point, Rhoades even called Regina's father from payphones back in Texas twice in March 1990, taunting him. In one call, he said that he had cut her hair short, and when the father begged for proof that she was alive, he just laughed and hung up. And by the time police were able to trace those calls, it was too late. Then, sometime in late March, nearly 2 months after she had been kidnapped, Rhoades drove his rig through the Midwest. He brought Regina to an abandoned barn in Bond County, Illinois, just off of Interstate 70. He made her put on a black dress and heels, handed her his camera, and told her how to stand. That is the moment this photo came from. It shows her standing on the barn's dusty floor and very obviously terrified. The photo was taken just moments before he strangled her with baling wire, twisting it around a small piece of wood until she stopped breathing. Then he left her body hidden in the barn loft and just drove away like nothing happened. In April 1990, an Arizona state trooper noticed Rhoades' semi pulled over with its hazard lights flashing. When the officer opened the door, he found a half-naked woman chained and bleeding inside of the cab, and she said that she had been held captive for days. He was immediately arrested, and that arrest cracked the case wide open. Inside of the truck, police found whips, handcuffs, torture tools, and hundreds of Polaroids, photos of terrified women in chains. And among them was that photo of Regina in the barn. Detectives began tracking Rhoades' cross-country routes. His logbooks, fuel receipts, and mileage reports all matched the timeline of Regina's disappearance perfectly. A few months later, on September 29th, 1990, a farmer exploring that same abandoned barn found a body in the loft. It was, of course, Regina Walters, still wearing that same black dress with the baling wire still wrapped around her neck with her hair cut short, exactly like Rhoades had bragged about on the phone. Forensic testing linked the scene directly to Rhoades. Tire tracks, truck stop receipts from nearby towns, and, of course, the photographs themselves. In 1992, Rhoades pled guilty to Regina's murder and was sentenced to life without parole. He later confessed to other killings in order to avoid the death penalty in Texas, and investigators believe that he may have murdered dozens of women between the 1970s and 1990, but most of them were never identified. Regina's story is still one of the most haunting to this date because it shows how danger can hide in plain sight. She thought she was running towards freedom, but she crossed paths with a monster.